Mary J Blige. Mary J Blige, the queen of R&B soul. Well, this is the truth behind basically her dating history. This is the truth behind her and Casey and Nas and Case and Diddy, all of them. I mean, when she first came into the game, she was signed with Uptown Records. They didn't know really what to do with Mary. She had a unique sound. She could sing. But rather have her do just regular R&B type songs like soul, she was more rooted into hip hop. Mary didn't dress how the other artists dressed. She dressed more like B-girl, like MC Lyte back in the day. So the songs that they had written for Mary, but they had written for other artists, like rap artists, female rap songs. And she had some, cover songs she did. And on this demo tape, and Puffy heard it and was like, the songs she did originally sucked. But her voice, he could use that, and he didn't want her to be like how the RZA did with like the Wu-Tang and make her just do hooks. He wanted her to have a unique, distant type of sound, like with hip-hop groove. So the whole 93 he's working with this new sound. Like TLC, they kind of created the R&B style, but he wanted with more like drums, like hip-hop rap without no rap in it. So when Mary, and Puffy started doing this, Puff girlfriend at the time, his baby mom, Miza, used to do all the fashion designs and all this stuff. So Miza was doing all the fashion and all this stuff for Mary J and this and that, and they were getting really close, Puffy and Mary. So Puff would do his thing, and one thing led to another. They messing around, in the studio. This is what happens back in the days. So it came with the territory. This wasn't the first time, for Puff and everything, but he was very protective of Mary. And he wouldn't let her, get with too many people as far as, people would try to take her away from him. But it wasn't to the fact where Mary J did the You All I Need to Get By with Method Man that put her in high demand. This was it. With Mary J Blige and Method Man, that was it. Every rapper in the world wanted to work with Mary J Blige. That's it, Mary. We need Mary J. So that created a whole new wind flow of a situation. But during her time, during that stage and everything else, she was dating KC, who was signed, Jodeci was signed with Diddy, and, and Uptown and Andre Harrell in that situation. So KC and Josie, they was listening to her in the studio, and then they got to singing on a track together, and history was made. And ever since then, it was Mary J. There's a lot of people on this song, but him and Mary clicked, and she thought he was just it for her. He used to serenade her, treat her like a queen. So Diddy looked at it like, well, whatever. So Diddy didn't care. Diddy was already in high water because Miser was kind of, figuring stuff was going on. So Diddy had to lay low anyway and be like, she ain't with me. See, she with KC. See, you dropping the conclusion. So Diddy was, just doing his thing, and her and KC was taking off. But as Jodeci was going like to plateaus and touring and doing shows, Mary was more vested into the relationship than KC. KC was, I love you, Mary, but I love Jodeci and KC, the superstar, even more. But what he wanted was Mary to be there for him while he go out and do whatever the world he does. And his thing was drinking, doing some drugs, and that was it, hanging out. And then they'll get into an argument, and Mary be throwing stuff. Who was this girl calling the house? How did she get this number? Why does she feel comfortable to call here? The usual. And then they fighting each other. I won't just say he beat her. She was hitting him with stuff too. So, it was bad. And then it hit the final straw where she had to just confront it. Is when they were on a TV show the week before, they had KC, or like a couple weeks before, they had KC on this television news show. And he was like, they were asking him about Mary J, like, is that his girl? He was like, nah, that's not. And then they had Mary J on there like a couple of weeks later, and she's like, yeah, that's my boyfriend, and this and that. And it was like, well, we had him on here just 2 weeks ago. He says you guys weren't dating. And then they played the clip back for Mary, and it showed KC like, nah, nah, we just friends. And then it just made her look stupid on national TV. And it hurt her even deeper than what the show or anybody else knew. So she was a mess. After that, she had flew back home and stopped doing shows, and she was recording the album. She was doing pills and smoking weed and drinking, and she's just depressed. And Puff is like, look, we gotta finish this album. You not doing what you supposed to do. So the album, I think it was called like My Life or something, the second album, and even she doesn't really like that album. And she wanted to thank people for supporting her, even though she was going through, like all the stuff she was going through. She was still like just happy people supported her and came out and bought the album. And even though she felt it wasn't her best work, because she had a lot of cover songs on there. Whenever somebody had a lot of cover songs, they were going through it. So she was going through the pain of the breakup with KC. So after this, she's like, forget it. I'm through with dude. I don't want nothing to do with him. And Case had the Touch Me, Tease Me record, and he was co-writing for Usher, and he was working with Diddy and them too. So he was always around. But he had a chance to work with like all these different artists, and he was writing some songs for Mary. So he was telling Mary, yo, we're going to do this, do that. And then when they did Touch Me, Tease Me, and the success of that, they messing around, she's like, she ain't getting committed no more to nobody. So she was like, look, I'll mess around with people, but other than that, I don't want too many people near me. I like being single. So she was doing her thing, being single, doing all this stuff, and all of a sudden, KC shows up at a place. They were at a club or something, and Case is there, and she's there with Case. They hanging out, and JoJo, was like, ain't that Mary? And KC went over there, and he was drunk, and he over there gonna cause a scene. Was like, oh, don't act like you don't know me, and grabbed her by the arm, and that's in Cases like, hey man, like, what's your problem, and why don't you go on over there? And dude, KC tried to fight him in the club, and he forgot, Cases about like a good solid 220, and he's like 110, and it was like somebody like had a jacket, and they was trying to like put their jacket on, but they was like, is that a jacket? Or no, that's KC. KC was all in the air, and Case was like swinging him around. It was like somebody was trying to put on a jacket. They was like, was somebody trying to put on a jacket over there? And they was like, no, that was KC getting slung around like a rag doll. So he got thrown around the club, got touched up a little bit. And JoJo came over there, and it was like, you want some of this too, old man? No. Come on, KC, man. Why you gotta mess with these good people? Oh, man. So, after this situation was done, her and Case was pretty tight. She'd stay at Case's crib for a while, like for some weeks. And Case thought, like, we dating. This a relationship. Case thinking, like, we got something good going here. But Mary was totally different at this time. Like, she's like, I've been played, I know y'all gonna play, and because Case, do these shows and the girls screaming, she get jealous really quick. So he didn't come home like when he said he was at one time, and she just whacked him upside the head with like a plate. As soon as he came through the door, like, she just bust a plate over his head and trying to hit him upside the head with a pipe, like a pot or something. And she was like mad. Oh, you think you just gonna play me? Like, I'm just gonna be sitting here for you? I ain't gotta sit here for you. So Case is like, man, this chick tripping. So she was in a whole different space at the time. And she was in Chicago, track studio, working on her album. And she got a lot of writers on there now. She had gotten away from Diddy, Andre Herrera, all of that. She got a whole new deal. They paid Puff a whole bunch of money to get Mary all to themselves, and they cut Puffy off of the, working with him, because Faith Evans used to write for her and everything else, and that was dead after that. It was just like, she on her own, let her do her thing. I got love for Mary, but she want to do her own thing. The company believed in her. They paid her off. So they got track masters and everybody else involved, and Babyface. They wanted everybody on the new Mary project. And then with the success of No More Lies, Not Gonna Cry, the Waiting to Exhale song, so that became a hit. But while she's in Chicago, Nas is in Chicago because he had just filmed this video with R. Kelly, a remix to Street Dreams. So she's in Chicago working on the album. R. Kelly and them, they go out to the spot, where everybody lounge at, one of the studios, and then they run into R. Kelly, and they, oh, what's up? I'm working over here with Nas and this and that. So R. Kelly was trying to see, what he can get out of Mary. And he harmonized him some stuff for her. And R. Kelly is so musically talented, he had made a song for Mary just by him just listening to the music. And how he made a hook, he made everything for a song. I don't even know if she used it, but just like that, he was able to harmonize it. I mean, he's a weirdo, but he's, you know, he's X-Files, but he's alright when it comes to music, man. He got it. He can make a song. Now, Nas is in there, and he's talking with Mary, and they talking about, you know, the songs and stuff she's working on, and she had this song that she did, Love Is All We Need, and he was like, oh, okay, that's what's up. And she was like, I want you on the record. Because Nas is real arrogant at this time. You know, he was blowing up. He was the biggest rap star at the time. His record was selling like crazy. Especially him and Lauren's song, If I Rule the World. So they thinking, why not? This is a good idea. Let's get Nas on the track. Love Is All We Need with Nas. They had already had the video basically filmed. Nas wasn't even on the original plateau. They had to like put Nas in there. Mary wasn't even there when Nas did his part. Nas had to come in and they had to add him on to the video and do this part. And the rhyme is, I won't say terrible. It's like whatever, you know. But it's real. You could feel his machismo has grown because he's getting some money. He's Nas now, you know, like he's worldwide recognized, you know, top selling artist now. He got the sales to go with it. So he's feeling himself. So him and Mary started messing around. And at this time, she's still kicking it with Case. And now Case is like, man, like, what's going on here with you and Nas and all this stuff? And Nas is just, you know, hitting in the studio doing his thing. Now Case is like, well, what's going on here? Because Case ain't stupid, and he's seeing them. We trying to use this for the promotion for Nas's hit record, you know, and this and that. So Case is like feeling like he's on the same level as Nas. So he decided that he wanted to try to check Nas when they was at a club. And he was like, look, I see you with Mary a lot. Y'all, you know, I understand they got the lead single. I just want you to know, Mary with me. And he was like, no doubt. Get him dap and love and everything else. So everything was cool because Nas brought Calm to, it was some party they had where all the industry people go. He had brought Calm in there. And Case was there, what's her name was there, even Jay-Z was there at this time. So Jay-Z was there, I think Puff was Puff there at this time? Yeah, he was. Puff is there, Big one there, Puff was there, and a lot of other people, Jay, a lot of other rappers and people in the industry was at this party. And Calm was out at this outing. So when Nas got pulled to the side by Case, you know, Case had also wanted to make it loud so that Nas' girl could hear it. So he could hate on Nas to mess Nas' situation up. So she was like, yeah, I heard the rumblings, you know, and Nas is not too smart. You know, he's book smart. He's not like intelligent, like common sense. He does stupid stuff like leave a phone number on the counter, you know, the hotel registry left on the counter. Was you at the hotel? Nah. Well, what's this napkin with the hotel registry on it? I don't know. Yeah, but when he rhyme, he's, you know, he can educate you. You know, he's book smart, but when it comes to common sense, he's just messed up. So, Case had already went and hated on him. And they knew it was Case. And Jungle and them and a couple of dudes from the bridge, they was going to talk about, man, I'm going to do dirty when he get downstairs. And they was like, nah, don't do that to him. Like, you know, nah. Because they was like, it's going to create a whole bigger problem. You know, so it's like, you don't want to create a new problem, just let that die. And Nas was like trying to make something serious with Mary, but Mary wasn't interested in that. You know, it was like, look, we kicked it a couple times, that's just it. Like, she ain't interested no more. You know, it was like, look, we kicked it, we chilled for the song, it was good, we cool peeps, let's just keep it like that. And he could honor that. So he was like, alright, cool, you know, my girl tripping anyway, so. And he stayed low key with it, where Case was like trying to get her to come back, and she wasn't really feeling Case no more. Then he kind of fell off, and she really didn't want nothing to do with him. And that's basically the gist of that situation, because Case ended up falling out. And he was mad that Mary did the same thing to him that KC did to her. She denied like ever being in a relationship with Case. Prior to this day, if you ask her, she was Case. Like, no, we went on a date a couple of times. That's about it. You know, like never a relationship. But she had clothes at his house. Like she used to like stay there for weeks. You know, and they working on songs and stuff. So I don't know what else to tell you, but somebody ain't telling the truth. And on that notion, your boy is out. I'm finna go play some late night basketball. Gotta get this cold out my system, I think. It's gonna really break it up. Get my Kobe Bryant on. I'm out.